Hello. Welcome to Courageous Conversations. Thanks, Leanne Babcock, for being here.
You're welcome.
You're so wonderful. I'm so glad you're here. And we're here on Courageous Conversations because we need to keep having courageous conversations.
We do.
With ourselves. Life can be so effing scary sometimes that the only way to build courage is to confront the scared in us. The scared in us. And it's so...
And be wild.
Be wild while doing it.
Yes.
You know, and so often, I'm just going to do a little sharing, everyone. So I hope that everyone keeps joining us on our journey and understands that, you know, I am here. I am on this planet to share our wildness, I think. And not only that, to share courage. Hi, Julia. Nice to see you. Because I feel that there is such a need for that as we go. Life can be a little bit, you know, can feel treacherous. That's what I find.
Yeah.
It isn't.
It's like it's dangerous to break the rules.
That's right.
You know?
It can feel treacherous, but I don't believe that it is treacherous.
No.
I believe that that the universe always has our back.
Yeah.
I think.
Yes. Actually, when we believe that, that's actually true. That's what happens.
Yeah.
Truly.
It truly is.
Yeah.
And I really feel that the universe is constantly giving us the message of don't give up. Mm-hmm. Don't give up. Don't stop. Don't give up. Don't give up.
How many times have I don't know, how many times have I, looking back, just, almost given up on something.
Yeah, and then...
Like writing my first book.
Oh my God.
I shelved it. It was like after 2 years and I thought, I'm never going to finish this. Oh my God, it's just too hard. It's too big.
Yeah.
And then push through.
Oh. It's such, and the pushing through is truly like birthing on so many levels. There's such a birthing feeling to it. Hi, Eric. Nice to see everyone who's joining. If this moves you, please do share, because this is I think worthy information for everybody.
Yes.
For everybody.
Yeah.
Now, Leanne, firstly, your first book, Magnificent, opened me. Oh my gosh. I mean, I love the title and I really have loved reading it. It's really been very inspirational to me, this whole thing about opening yourself up on so many deep levels. And then I had the privilege of reading a part of your book to be able to review it. And
that's the second book.
The second book, yeah. Exactly. And please, I don't have it memorized. What's the name of it exactly?
Real and Wild You. Real and Wild You. Your daring and magical inner journey.
Yeah. Oof. That is.
Yeah.
And it's so good and so. I mean, I think exactly what so many of us need. As I feel life can sort of constrain us and can make us more and more sort of in a box.
I know, and it's not, because I want to talk about wild, because it's
the
like
wildness.
When I started talking about wild, I had people come back and say things like, well, gee, I was wild when I was younger, and then things didn't go very well, and
then
so
you just clamped
now
down.
I'm not so
Brent.
sure about that.
Hi, Brent. Hi, Rick. Nice to see you. So we were wild when we were young, and then things didn't go so well, maybe, or just like some learning, and then.
But I think also, like, part of it is we have this connotation we put to wild, like wild and reckless, and not taking responsibility.
That's a good point.
Yeah, and that's not what I mean.
What do you mean?
Because you've got the word wild and you've got the word reckless, and
totally
they're two
different.
separate words.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So when you look up the word wild, and I also in my second book, Real and Wild You, I use it in all of its iterations: feral, extraordinary, daring, radical. And if we look at these words, like particularly wild and feral, even in the dictionary, they say things like uncultivated, just left to grow. And I know, I mean, there are other,
That's interesting.
Isn't it?
Uncultivated, just left to grow.
Yeah. I mean,
there's something interesting about that.
I think so too. Yeah. Right? Because when,
didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, when you talked earlier about the constraints.
Yes.
Right? And so, consider that when we're born, we're and I'm just going to make it really simple, right? Because I mean, there's so much psychology and research into, when do our personalities start forming, and when do we make decisions? And we are intelligent beings, even in the womb, right? So there's a lot of evidence for that.
Yeah.
But consider that as we grow up in the world, we're actually constantly, sussing out the environment around us,
right,
and making choices to how to survive, how to keep ourselves safe, how to get our needs met. And they're not like conscious choices. It's not like, gee, I think I need to decide to be, really funny, and that way people are attracted to me. It's just
an unconscious,
choosing of how to be,
and how to sort of adjust and sort of navigate what's in front of you.
That's right.
And so sometimes it'll be, I imagine what you're saying is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that when you encounter the environment and you say, oh, to survive this, I need to be very edited, I need to be very constrained, that's one choice.
Yes.
But there are other choices to be made at any given moment in a journey.
There are, yeah. And, so psychologists and research say that our personalities are formed before the age of 7.
Yes, we form our worldview at around 6 or 7.
That's right. And so our personalities are really a collection of decisions that we made about how we should be in the world to get our needs met. Now, if we, just for a moment, take a look at that, firstly, it's, our personalities become very limiting, because as we grow and evolve, we bump up against this,
the constraints,
the
judgments.
Like, oh, I've got to be careful here.
Right.
Or, oh, I can't speak out here. Or I have to be good.
Right.
And so...
Be nice.
Yes. And so even though, we may go, oh, gee, I want to do something here, like a new possibility, or, something else, these decisions that we've already made before the age of 7 unconsciously actually are guiding us right now with our thoughts, with every decision we make right in the now. So even though we go reaching over there, they're like railings that kind of unconsciously guide, to make sure we don't make mistakes, and, we don't upset people.
That we are accepted.
Accepted.
Belonging.
That's right.
Which is such a huge thing.
Yeah.
Hi, Mauricio. Nice to see you.
But those decisions were made long ago.
Made long ago.
Like by a 4-year-old.
But we don't really need to be held back by decisions that we made at 4 years old.
No.
Like, stop that, right? I mean, that's...
And that's what I'm saying.
And I talk about it in terms of the child running or ruining your life.
Right.
It's like running or ruining. So is it running or is it ruining? You know what I mean? And I often call it the hurt child, because often in childhood, not often, but, as a psychotherapist, I'm encountering all kinds of people that frankly, they have been hurt as a child, and they've been criticized and terrorized and judged and all those things. And then what we have is that energy running our life and clamping down our wildness.
That's right.
And I've had Leanne on the show before, and what mostly excited me about, obviously I just love you and I love knowing you, and I'm so glad to know you.
Mutual.
And so glad that we came to be friends. But I remember when we first met, I thought, this person is sort of defying a lot of possibly the learning and the conditioning.
Yeah.
And you're literally living that, having come, I'll just say this, Leanne came, lived in New Zealand for 30 years and built a massive, beautiful practice as a coach, and lots of teachings and wonderful groups and all this good stuff. And then had a calling within, and it's all in this amazing book, Open Me, to come and live back in Toronto, where she comes from. And that is like, it's wild. It's wild, but not feral. It's wild.
Well, and it's feral.
It is feral.
When I talk about feral, I'm meaning like get feral with the constraints.
Hi, Pippa. Nice to see you.
With the hi, Pippa.
Yeah.
with the constraints around about how we think we should live.
We think we should live.
I was at a time in my life when and I had worked at it. Everything was just going great, and I thought, whoa. Some part of me thought I've made it according to, what making it's supposed to be, right? And then, and then I just got this, I just kept having niggles, and I kept getting this really strong calling to do something else. But
those niggles.
the constraints, and the thoughts I had in my life that, oh, I can't do this, and what will people think, and I won't be so secure anymore, and
God, we're such slaves to security on so many levels.
I know, and I realized, if I did not follow that, call it calling, that inner knowing, that inner wisdom, then I was really going to regret it. And I realized I had to be wild. I had to be feral outside of what I thought I was supposed to do.
Right.
And actually...
outside of the box.
Go beyond that fear of what other people were going to think about me.
Wow. And you're doing this, I feel you are, with tremendous grace. And I'm so glad to have you back on the show because, listen, you're doing something so profound. I love the word wildness. Don't you guys love the word wild and wildness? I just love that. And your 6-week program, it's I wouldn't call it just a program. I would call it an opportunity for transformation on so many levels. I would call it a real opportunity to touch into a part of you that possibly you have not. Hi Diana, nice to see you. And so
Totally.
It's called What's Your Wild?
Yes.
What's your wild? What's your wild?
I love it. I love it.
I'm feeling it. What's your wild? So tell me, I said, tell us what we're going to talk about, and because I love this woman, so like whatever, just come on the show, and firstly, hi Diana, hi Pippa, hi everyone who's joining us, and if this moves you, share it from your soul. This is good, and I'd love to have people understand what they're going to go through. Yeah. In 6 weeks.
Right.
Is it weekly or how do you do it?
Yeah, it's weekly. And so the first thing I want to say...
And it's live or online?
It's live.
Oh, live. Good.
It's live and online.
Okay, both.
Right?
Okay,
yeah.
good.
And so the first thing I want to say is that it's actually by being wild in the way that I'm using it, that we find our way back to being real. Like really who we are.
God. Damn.
I know
I need to swear right now. I need to say so many swear words right now because it feels it's by being wild.
Yeah.
Somebody tweet that thing out. It's by being wild that we find out our real.
Yeah.
Our real self.
Yes.
Oh,
that's where
that
we
just
are
hits me
real.
at my freaking core.
Yes, that's why I loved the like the definition of feral. It's like it was like untouched. By civilization or
and I'm like
uncultivated.
Yeah.
Uncultivated. It's like give me uncultivated.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
So this is not about being reckless.
No.
It's
right.
And
it's
not
important.
about going around and hurting everybody, and God, that's not.
But really, I think that not being reckless is important because I gotta say, I don't think that reckless works.
No,
I think reckless is dangerous.
Yes, totally.
And I work with some people who have a whole experience around using recklessness as a almost addictive patterning, to numb out life.
Yes.
And that's not what you're talking about.
No.
You're
totally
actually
not.
You're getting realer
Yeah.
and more authentic and
Yes.
not numbing out life and really feeling life
That's right.
at its core, at its depth, at its being.
Wow.
I feel it so deeply.
Yes. It is. I mean, because, we're going to go deep diving. We're going to go deep diving.
Nice.
And,
gorgeous.
and it's and it's going to feel good. It's a call and an invite to be vulnerable, to be honest. So let me tell you, the 6 sessions...
It's not all external, it's an internal process.
It's internal
and
so
external,
that you can
probably.
take
Yes.
it external.
Exactly.
I mean, we can spend our time doing external stuff and, making ourselves feel good and going and doing fun things, which is great. But if you're doing that in order to make yourself feel better, in order to feed something that's missing in here, you're working at it the wrong way. You want to start inside.
Job.
It's an inside job. It is. So, let me just tell you the titles of each of the sessions.
Excellent.
It might give you a sense,
okay,
right?
Good. Take this in, everybody. Take this in.
So session 1 of What's Your Wild is be honest with yourself. And, how often do we ask ourselves that? Am I being honest with myself?
Yeah.
And there's complexities with that because our honesty with ourselves actually changes. And so how do we deal with that? And this is just it's a powerful session to start with.
Begin there.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
Are you being honest with yourself?
Yeah.
And then you really probably take people on a few deep dives about that.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we're going. And then session number 2 is, now get this one, and by the way, I didn't make sexy titles. I called it like it was.
Good.
Okay? So session number 2 is do the work, take responsibility, and heal emotional wounds. Because,
Got to do that.
That's the work. You want to be, you want to be powerful, you want to be real,
Yeah.
you want to be authentic, you want to be successful in life, then heal the stuff that's holding you back.
That's right. And give us a sense of one of the little pieces that you do. Like what's a process that you do that is all about that.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. And I'll just give you a little
that.
sense, right?
Yeah, just a sense of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So firstly, when we experience trauma in our life or upsetting things, let's just say, it's what happens is there's a part of us that keeps reliving that. So
over and over
and over again. Like, and I'm going like this. It's somewhere in our brain, right?
And actually, we do that. We do repeat it.
Yes.
You know why we repeat it? We repeat it. There's actually an unconscious repetition so that we understand it. We're trying to understand it. That's why we keep repeating it.
Oh,
yeah.
Because it's true, isn't it? We repeat stuff. The universe sends it again and again until we get it.
Until we get it. And so we repeat it. And not just the universe, but our brain.
Yes.
Our neural pathways are
they're
actually...
all connected.
They're all exactly connected so that we keep doing it so that we complete that cycle so we actually understand it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. And so that part of us just keeps repeating it and reliving whatever happened. So consider that that's actually one of your wounded children, let's say, inside.
Yes, totally.
And so, And so I guide people on a process that actually goes to heal. You could say heal a wounded child or wounded children, but it actually undoes. It interrupts the continuity of that repetition of the trauma inside.
Hi, Paul, and thanks for joining us. Interrupts the continuity of the repetition. So powerful. And that, in and of itself, when you look deeply at stuff, people say, run from the burning building. And really, it's counterintuitive to run into the burning building.
Oh, yes.
But we got to run to the burning building
do.
because guess what? It's through running into the burning building that you get the tools to put the fire out and really neutralize it. So I love this process.
To the pain.
Go inside.
Don't run away.
Yeah, lean in. Lean into the pain. Because, by the way, magically, when you lean in, it starts to dissipate.
It does.
Just boom.
It really does.
And people don't get that, and I want you to get that. It's a trick. It's a tip. It's a tip and a trick. It's a tip and a trick.
And so session 3 is open yourself and use your gifts.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So one of the things that I guess I've come across in myself, many times, like I have these thoughts like, like I'm not very talented. Like I don't
we
play.
all have those thoughts.
I don't play any instruments.
Like, what do I have to bring to the table?
Like I'm not an artist. I don't draw these beautiful paintings. And I look at other people and I go, they're the ones. But then, what we realize is that we forget our gifts. And I remember once I'd gone out for a walk. I go for morning walks. It was summertime, right? And on my way back, there was this woman. She lived on the streets, and she asked me for money. And, had I had any money, I would have given it to her. But I had nothing, and I
mean, who hangs out with money too much? It's a credit card sometimes.
I know, but I was carrying literally nothing, like I had my, running pants on. Yeah. And I looked at her and I said, I've got nothing to give you. And then I realized, and I'm looking at my hands and they're kind of outstretched. And I said, except a hug. And I went towards her, and she opened her arms, and we had this just beautiful moment of a hug. And I realized, we have gifts all the time.
No matter what.
No, so sometimes our gifts are our intuitive abilities or our ability to create, and other times a gift is just it's a hug, it's a smile, and to give it away.
And you know what? The thing is that so many, I'm convinced that you're in Toronto. I have to tell you, because people need it.
I need it.
No, I know you need it, but you get it by giving it.
Yes.
In so many ways. It's like give a hug, get a hug.
Yeah.
Give energy, get energy.
Yeah.
Provide knowledge, get knowledge.
Totally.
All of those, whenever we put it out there, it's coming back, period.
More.
You know, exactly.
But actually, we feel it more inside. You know, she made a difference in my life that day, and the next several days I was on a high.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And I believe that, you know, you left your comfy, wonderful life in New Zealand because they had you. Now they need you here. They need you here to shine your wild and your light and your openness and your ability. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm loving being here.
Okay, yeah.
I really am. And I feel that we're finding each other.
Yeah.
You know, the more that we're speaking out, because that's also what this is about speaking out,
yeah.
Singing your song, following your heart,
yeah.
Anyway, I'll get into
yeah, please
get into
do.
this,
Go.
I could go on and on about that. So session number 4 is communicate with nature. And you know what, I actually really mean that, because
see, Trumpet Girl has made her appearance, and I communicate with her all the damn time.
That's right. That's right. Because when we open ourselves to our innate inner wisdom that is in communication with us all the time. So, call it your intuition.
Yeah.
We all have it, by the way. We can all develop it.
Into us, intuition.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so the other thing is that our whole nature all around us, we're a part of the same ecosystem. Like, science can now take photos of the energy, the electromagnetic energy that is flowing through everything. So everything here, the camera, the plants, it's not just plants. There's electromagnetic energy flowing through everything.
Everything.
And so consider that everything is talking and communicating with us all the time. But we don't normally think about it like that, because you're in your skin, your human skin bag, and I'm in my human skin bag, and we seem like we're separate and isolated, but that's not true.
No.
And so nature is also part of that, communicating and working with an extended source of wisdom. It's so powerful.
It is so
I run
powerful.
shamanic retreats, and we do this all weekend. It's just
divine.
magic.
Yeah. And I communicate with my plants. I know I possibly sound a little crazy, but I sing to I sing to Trumpet Girl.
Yeah.
You know, she came on the scene and I gave her an aria. I don't sing arias, but I sang so much. And I sing to my orchids, and I'm in this urban jungle, but I feel surrounded by this amazing nature, and I thank the universe for that so much. And I really relate to your experience of connect in nature. It just changes everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Totally.
Tell us about session 5.
Session 5 is set yourself challenges to break through.
Okay, so you guys put together challenges.
Yeah, totally. It's like, who knows us best than ourselves? Right?
True.
So, I know my weaknesses. I know when I get pissed off at myself. And, so for example, my mom has been a wonderful teacher for me, and bless her heart, I love her dearly. And
if it's not one thing, it's a mother.
But the thing is, it wasn't her. It was, I was triggered by whatever, was going on, right? And so every time, while I'm in New Zealand, I would come back to visit my mom, and I would start off being this mature, wise adult, and then, by the end of the visit, I had just crumbled into this, pathetic, irritated teenager.
That's funny.
It was awful. And so I was never proud of myself. And I, it's like, okay, it's not going to happen. Well, okay, so this time I set myself a challenge to break through.
Yes.
And oh my God, it was the best visit I'd had with my mom. And do you know, so that's now several years ago. Yes. I got triggered. I fell off my horse. I got back on.
Okay.
I didn't give up. You talked about I did not give up, right?
Yes.
And so that was a few years ago. So I've been working on that. Do you know that we can now spend time together? I don't get triggered by her at all. Almost not at all.
Wow.
It's divine.
She needs a medal, a crown, and a brooch. Yeah. That's huge. Not getting triggered by your mom. That's so freaking big.
It is so freeing. It's honestly. Now I can call her, and it's okay.
And wise people have said that if you live your life impacted by what other people do, think, or say, that's the definition of suffering. That is the definition of sufferance.
Yes.
To constantly be triggered by others, and it clamps us down, and it holds us in, and it makes us have a story of life is not safe.
That's right.
And the opposite is true.
That's right.
Even though it doesn't always feel that way, the opposite is true.
That's so true.
Yeah.
And when we when we have it be that other people have to be different in order for ourselves to feel more comfortable, we're in prison. We've put ourselves
and our world gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
You change for me, you change for me, you change for me.
That's right.
No. You change so that you can be okay with.
Yeah.
It's not about embracing abuse. I'm not saying that at all.
No.
I'm not saying that at all. Let go of abuse.
Yeah.
To block out abuse. But people are people, and they are who they are.
Yes.
Right.
So you set yourself challenges to break through.
And then the final session.
The final session is dare to love yourself.
And so that's easy to say.
I know, but what I'm saying is actually that is the hardest thing to do.
That is the hardest thing to do.
You know, because in the sense,
gremlins are just...
Loving yourself is dangerous. In the culture that we've grown up in, loving yourself is dangerous.
Just expand on that a little bit.
So, let's say that, well, let's just say that, I don't know about in your family, but criticism was really strong in the culture of my family.
Yeah. So if you're loving yourself in that, it's like, get into your place. Get down in your little place over there.
That's right.
Yeah. Who do you think you are?
That's right. And then we, having grown up with criticism and judgment, we take that on ourselves. So it might have actually started from our parents or from our guardians or whoever it came from, because it's in our culture, right? But then we pick it up, and so then we criticize ourselves. And
it lives in here and doesn't pay rent. That's a problem.
I know.
They're living and taking up rent, but not taking up space, but not paying rent.
That's right. And so then we have this story about not being worthy.
That's right.
And that shows up in many ways. Yeah. So it can show up as, being
and really hear this. Really hear this. Like shows up as not feeling worthy. Ask yourself how often you are in a situation because you don't feel worthy. Keep going.
Yeah. So it can show up like this. So this feeling of because it's a story and it's a concept of being not worthy, right? But so it can show up as not taking care of yourself, but it can show up as over taking care of yourself. Okay.
Excellent.
So I've done both. It's two sides of the same coin.
That's right.
And so we can
overprotection and take care. Yes.
Yeah. And it's like my needs are more important than anybody else's, and it can often be at the expense or at the exclusion of other people's needs. And so, they're
in my book, Find Your Self Culture, I talk a lot about the notion of self culture, which we need to be selfie, but there's selfie versus selfish.
Yes.
Selfie, I feel, is the balanced thing, what you're talking about, the balanced self-care, personalized self-care. Selfish is to the exclusion and to the non-care of anyone else. So they live on a continuum, and you want to be in the balance of that continuum. And so self-care doesn't need to be over self-care. It's a balance of self-care in which you're considering other people as well. And the other thing is that what you're talking about is, I really feel like you're talking about really embracing yourself, yourself, your value, your self-culture, versus family culture that might have promulgated and promoted, all kinds of messaging of, you're not, no, you're nothing on this one. And that's what we're trying to undo. And it sounds this is this is so beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah. So those are the 6 sessions, and we're starting on the 20th of February.
Amazing, and it's such a good time to start it because we're in the sort of depths of the darkness of our season.
Yes, and 2019 is such a special year.
It really is.
I don't know about you, but I've been feeling the energy really powerful this year.
Oh my God, yes.
And there's almost like
very different from 2018. It was powerful in 2018, but I feel that 2019. I don't know about you, but I have been feeling that 2019 is more of an opening, a little bit of an ease, possibly more flow in this year. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Like there's a window that's opened.
Yeah,
right? And so it's a 3-year. So if you're into numerology, three is around. It's around creativity and expressing yourself and manifesting. So it's about destiny. It's about creating your own destiny now.
And it'll make you feel afraid because I'm feeling it so much.
Yes.
I know that there's so much stepping into destiny.
Yes.
And I'm like, I better just stay in my comfort zone.
That's right.
And yet.
Who do I think I am?
Yeah, totally.
Completely. I don't have anything to say. Who would want to hear me?
That's right. That is so what I feel often. But it's about really confronting that and bursting past it.
Yeah.
Bursting through it.
Yeah. Being wild.
Being wild.
Being wild and feral with it.
That's
Come
right.
back to yourself and who you really are.
But let me ask you, Leanne, some logistics.
Yes.
Little wild logistics. You said it's online and it's live.
Yes, so I'm going to be on. We'll be live online.
Okay.
Okay. So coming together, they'll also be recorded.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
So
good.
so there's that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And where do they find all this information?
Go to my website. So that is leannebabcock.ca.
Hi, Danu. Nice to see you. leannebabcock.ca.
That's right.
And the information is there.
Yeah. Look under events.
Okay.
Yeah. Click under events, and then you'll see what's your wild.
What's your wild?
Yeah.
And are people the payment form is all there on your website?
Just have a look. You'll see the sessions. You can see how you pay.
That's right.
Yeah. Ask me more questions.
Communicate with Leanne.
Yeah.
Leanne, and it sounds like it's going to be easy to get to because people can do it from their home.
Yes.
But live.
Yes.
So like a Zoom kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, I love this. I just love it. And it's going to be so wild. It's going to be so
it's
good.
It's just so daring to do this.
I know.
You
I know. It's good.
It's like just daring to challenge those rules that
Yeah.
say, no, you can't.
Yeah, yes, you
You're not
can.
good enough.
Yeah,
and it's
you
like,
are.
yes, you can. Yes, I can. Yes, you are. We are.
So good to see you, Leanne. You're so
you too.
awesome. Is there any last bits of wisdom before we start to sign off that you want to impart to the lovelies over here on our Courageous Conversations channel?
You know, I want to say trust yourself. And, you know, if anywhere in this conversation you have felt even just a little, oh, I wonder what that course is about, follow it. Because, you see, that's where that's where the little,
The niggle.
The constraints start
Oh,
to get
the constraint.
you.
Okay, gotcha.
It's like, oh, you don't have time, or, oh, whatever thought to kind of close it down. And it's like, don't let
Push
that
that away.
close you down.
Yeah.
If you feel a little inclination, go follow it. Just look and read it.
I love this. You're such a light on the planet. You really are.
Aw, thanks.
You're a light on the planet, Leanne Babcock. All right, it was so good to see you. I want everyone to continue to have courageous conversations with yourself and others. Be wild. Embrace the wild and allow yourself to follow the inner truth of your being. This is the year for you. I just know it. It's the year for us too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the year for us.
For us, for all of us.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's rock the world.
Let's rock the world. Check out leannebabcock.ca, her website. If you are moved to join my group, Courageous Conversations, it's a closed group. It's a support group. It's a way for you to, just share yourself and share your being, and people want to support you. Also, if you feel moved, please like my page, Courageous Conversations, and I just want you to continue to be courageous with yourself, and any act of courage is a good act, in my opinion. All right, so have a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant day. Stay positive, stay good, and stay wild.
Stay wild.
Stay wild.
Don't stay good. Stay wild.
Stay wild, but good is wild.
Good and
Wild is
wild.
good, exactly. Good and wild. All right, have a great one, guys. Bye for now.
Bye.
Wow.